From Shakespeare. The first witch. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first, I charmed the pot. Altogether, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. The second witch joins in. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. All together, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Third witch says, scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, moor and gulf, of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged I the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse, noise of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth, strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drabe. Make the gruel thicken slab, add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of our cauldron. And then they said, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. And the second witch adds, cool it with a baboon's blood, and then the charm is firm and good.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. I agreed many moons ago with Giselle over at Mad Witch when I did the garden. She did a Lost Garden VR to, I can't remember who it is, but I'll link my video in comments and then you can find everyone from there. And I did kind of change up on it a little bit and added my own spin to the Lost Garden. And then we kind of suggested and sort of agreed it would be great fun to do one for Halloween, like a haunted house or something. So here is me attempting to do this. Now, I've never done anything like this. I don't make spreads often, as many of you know. I mean, like almost probably one a year, if that. And I wanted to make it interactive and fun for tarot readers, oracle readers, and witchy practitioners alike. So I've attempted to create, because I can't do it by halves, a kind of double prompt for each prompt that I've created. I hope that makes sense. Now, what you see in front of me is decks. These are here because I want you to get an idea of what you can use for this. I wanted to use as many decks as possible to do the spread. So you can use as many or as few as you wish. And for each prompt, if you're using cards, you can, again, expand as far and as wide as you want. And you can choose to do one prompt a day, or in my ideal head, I was picturing, we're still in the throes of a very, very warm Indian summer here, but I was in the throes of picturing a very autumnal day, dark evenings, fire crackling, pumpkin spice latte on the rug, candles lit, lots of atmospherics, some classical music, haunting classical music playing in the background, and then just sitting down with the spread in the middle and then laying out all the cards all around the spread to see what happens. I would still love to do that, but I don't have a carpet yet in my front room because it's still no further forwards than it was this time last year. But like I say, I've got lots of decks here because I just figured there are probably different decks in your collection that you could use, and I've put them out here for ideas, to give you ideas. Now, you don't have to use all spooky decks. They don't have to be Halloween dark themed, dark times of the year themed. But this is just me because, as you know, this is the majority of my collection and this is what I like. It's my aesthetic. So we'll start with like an entryway. And for kicks, I've got Tower of the 78 Doors. So for my entryway, I thought maybe I could use this one. If there's anything in there about familiars or animals, then I've got Tarot of the Cats, Tarot of the Dragons. I also have a Fairy Tarot. We have the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle, so it doesn't have to be tarot, so that's there to give you an idea of something else that you can use. If we're looking for trinkets for inspiration, I've pulled out the Pocket Oracle from Mildred Payne, because this has got shapes in it, and it might help to, if you're looking for a talisman or a good luck charm, then I thought it might be fun to see what pops out of a deck like this. Now, there's also, I can't remember what it's called, something Bones oracle with little cards very similar, and that's got bones and other shapes and images in it as well. So I figured like something like that might work. Again, I haven't actually tried this spread at the point of me filming this part of the video, so I don't know how these are going to work, but we will see. What else have I pulled out? In case you're a runes person, so I pulled out a runes oracle, so you could select a rune for the question that this would pertain to in the spread that I've created. I've also got there from the same creator the pocket love oracle, so if there's a question in there about love or self-healing, you could pull one of these. Again, you could layer up, so if when you pull tarot you don't like to have one tarot card, you like to have a few tarot cards, say 3 tarot cards or 2 tarot cards and an oracle card, again, take your pick and mix them up and do that for the question for the prompt. Oops, let me just put you on pause a second while I pick that one up before the dog comes in. Where was I? Oh yeah, if you're a sigil person, then I've put this one out for fun. So the Oracle Magic, which I've shown many times last year. I used this quite a lot last year. So we have sigils in here that you could use, and then information in the book to help you expand on them. So maybe that, you know, this is how you select your sigil that you're making, or one that you're going to design and create. From the same Priestess Moon, these decks, so we have the Enchanted Spell Oracle. So perhaps if we're asking you to create something in the spread to go with your daily prompts, you might pull a card for inspiration. So we have strength, we have the tree that we relate to. Now I know that some of these also have spells on them and in the book, so these are really pretty cards to use. In fact, I think it's for the spells that I bought it, because it's exactly what the book is, the deck is. So just have a quick, these are all Rockpool trading from Priestess Moon. So the Elderflower, powerful imaginative sorcerer, tells us about the elderflower, its uses, its properties, symbolism of the card, how to use it in divination, making an elderflower potion. So this is why I like this one. And then you've got the recipe there. Pour 30 ml of elderflower liqueur, 20 ml of elderflower cordial, 20 ml of lemon juice into a cocktail shaker. Oh, nice. That sounds nice. So this is why I've got this one here, because this could give you an instant how to make something. The Enchanted Unicorn Oracle, again, that's good for words. I've got the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle, because who wouldn't want that one on their desk for this? A couple of Vampire Tarots, my Skeleton Tarot, Halloween Tarot. We've got the Monsters of the Macabre from Todd and Wilhelmina, which again is another one that I really love because it's so bizarre in its imagery. If you've got the, I can't remember what it's called. I've edged mine in brown. Let me think. Bosch. Is it Bosch? There's a couple of Bosch decks, or even Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven. There's a black and white one. That would probably work really nicely here as well for atmospherics. What else I dropped down? So I put Rana George's Lenormand down, because again, as I was saying, if you're looking for symbols, I figured that, there's take the card at face value. So we've got horse, clover, boat, home, tree, storm, snake. So I just think you could take probably those literal images in the pictures for, again, your kind of good luck charms, talismans and things. I have the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot here because there's one about a ghost in there, so I thought I might use that one. We have the... So cool, I'll never get tired of that. The Monsters of the Macabre, the best produced mass market deck so far in my opinion. I think it's just amazing. The noise, the way it shuffles, the cardstock, really nice. Just love that noise. It's ASMR for noise for shuffling. And again, because it's just an unusual deck, so perfect. Do you imagine sitting down using this in the dark? You'll note I haven't put a single Deviant Moon down for this. It was very, very hard. But for my fellow Deviant Moon lovers, please get them out and show me what you do with them. Botanicals, so if you've got things about herbs, there's multiple botanicals and herb crafters tarots. There's so many out there. I don't own them. I think this one and I can't remember what the other one's called, the astrology one, are the only two that I have. But for inspiration on herbs, because there's some questions on herbs, I have obviously a couple of witchcraft ones. So, we can't do this without probably including these two. But if you don't have these, there's so many other kind of oracle decks that you can use. I have put this one down, the Wilder Ones, which is a great... This is witchy in many aspects, but it's not dark. It's a nice light witchy deck. I actually think it was really cheap. Love that little house. So... just wanted to, really kind of get your juices flowing, get you intrigued, get you interested, and see what comes up. I've even popped the literary tarot out here because I think maybe I'll attempt to use this time. And I'm thinking, so I have this one for the Archeo, personal archetypes. I don't know how this one's going to work yet, but I think I'd like to try and get it into the spreads. And I think this might be the basis of most of my spreads, to be fair, because why wouldn't it be? This, I think, if I've got it right, this spread is what this is made for. But we shall see. We shall see. So what's it all about? You're asking 10 minutes into this like ramble about all of these decks. But I think you get the image, or the, let's just, for instance, let's just do one a second, just give you an idea. So first question is, what is the energy coming in for winter? This is the one that I'm thinking this. So I'm thinking probably layering up this one, and maybe this one for the first question. And I'll probably pull a card from each to layer up for that first question. We have a second question. What magpie is causing us woes? So that could be, I might go for something a bit darker, so I might go for the Tarot of the Macabre. The Lonely Souls, that's a really good one. Scrap that. What's causing me woes is my favourite. It's going to be this one, this one, this one, and then this one. It's going to be a four card spread. What was causing me woes? It'll be those. Dead wood to be cut loose for the season. And I'm thinking this one. I'm thinking the Archeo might actually work for this, personal archetypes cards, with the Macabre Tarot. So I'm thinking these two. What's another one? And then the best way for clearing out that dead wood, I'm thinking the Bonestone and the Literary probably would work quite well. And I may or may not, layer up another, I could easily pop in a Samhain Oracle there as well to give me 3 cards. So I think you get the gist. You can see what's going on here. You can do this just with one deck all the way through. I don't mind. You can do it with Oracle, Tarot, whatever floats your boat here. And that's the point of this, is it's fun. And then on top of that, I've kind of added the witchy prompts. So here we are. Here's my spread. So here's my haunted house. And I've labelled the bits around the house. And I will try and work out how to do this on a downloadable something. I've absolutely no idea how I do that. But you're all welcome then to print this out, colour it in, because that's part of the fun here for the creative souls out there. I wanted to colour it in. And as I go around, I've labelled different parts. We have a woodshed, we have a broom, here's a magpie, we have viewing platforms, deterrents, conductors, ghosts, cats, cauldrons, pumpkins, ponds, toads, doorway, bats. Did I say bats? I might have done already. And then around all of my different areas I've labelled on here, I've created on an envelope, as you do, best intentions always. I've then created questions to go with the elements of the house that I have picked out. So with the door, what energy is coming in for winter? Pull 3 cards, okay? So that's the first prompt that I'm starting with, coming here. So what's coming in? Then we've got our, woodshed, broom, what's causing woes, kind of shadowy aspects of ourselves, and coming into our more creative aspects of ourselves as we go around. With this doorway, I have also, for a witchy prompt, I've put, how can you work with this to your advantage and gain, as in what you get off your cards. So for the energy that's coming in, it's then finding out what about that energy can you expand on to bring. So if it's not particularly great, then how do you turn it around to your advantage? How do you make the most of the energy that's coming? And if it's really good, then how do you plan to make the most of that energy that's around and available for you? How are you going to show the universe that you're reciprocating what's coming in, and what you're giving out? So that's like the semi-interactive bit. So that's the next part of the question. So I suppose you could say there are 2 parts. For instance, I've got here, what's causing us worries, and I'm going to do my 4-card spread. Off the back of that, I've wrote, create a positive affirmation to disperse your worries. Now, I haven't put it here, but I've got the Earth Angels Oracle from Amanda Clark, and that's got affirmations already written on it. These have affirmations in them. I can't remember if this one has affirmations, but you can create affirmations with this one. You may choose to lay out a few cards to get your affirmation. I've got kind of more deep soul searching questions on this one. What else do I have affirmations with here? I think you can sort of get them sometimes in these decks as well from Seasons of the Witch. So again, plenty to choose from an affirmations perspective. So I've got one in here about protection. So my question for my intruder spike: what heckles do we use for our protection? So, what's your natural protective mode, I suppose, is the right way of putting a question like that. You know what I mean? I don't mean when we're at home and when we're at our altar space and we're creating these fantastic protections. I mean, what happens? Like, what's your natural protective mode when somebody, pushes your buttons? What's your natural go-to? And then with this one, I've put, about creating a protection spray or an aroma or an incense to burn, something that keeps you less heckled, more relaxed. maybe even herb bundles, perhaps it's a flower arrangement, but you know what I mean? Like, you could create a crystal grid. There are so many creative things you could do to link into that question. What I've listed isn't exhaustive, but I think it'd just be really nice to see. So then if you're not tarot, you've got something else that you can do as well to join in with the haunted house for October. And as I said, I don't mind, because I've got 14 questions going around my house. So it may be that you choose to do one a day with the witchy prompt, or you, like I say, you may choose to do the entire spread all in one go, and then you may choose to come back and do the prompts one a day. But I think 14 will keep you going anytime throughout October. I think you do it really anytime throughout the dark season, to be honest. But October's the month that we're all heading for, isn't it? So that's the one we're going for, the season of Halloween. But yeah. Right, let's take a little look at what we've got, what I've designed, how it's going to go. Hopefully you've got some ideas from the earlier parts of the video, including how you may come across how to make your potions and things, and some ideas of obviously where I'm going to get mine. So hopefully if I can get this to work, your PDF is going to look like this. Now I'm going to attempt to attach it somewhere in this YouTube description box. And if that doesn't work, I will have to just upload it onto the community channel for you to go and copy or screenshot from there. So I do apologise if I can't get this to do what I want it to do. And you can possibly see on screen, I don't know if it's going to show really well, but there are different coloured texts. So the purple text is the witchy prompts, the black text is the question that I'm aiming for the tarot, or whichever set of cards, cartomancy, divination, whatever you want to call it, to do those prompts. Or you might just use them actually for journaling, to be fair. You may not even need to use cards. So as I say, I've tried to do it as a mix match, and you can pick what you want to do as you go through. I was contemplating running out the entire spread, putting the whole spread down, and then the kind of purpley prompts I was going to use for actions, and maybe do those every day or every other day, or spread them out across the season. The only thing I have suggested is, because on prompt 3, my witchy prompt is creating a letter to release into the wilds, if you want, and many of us find that cathartic when we burn it. So for that reason, I thought that you might want to, if you're doing it daily, you might want to start this so you are ready to start on a full moon for day 3. So you'd start a couple of days just as we come into nearing the end of the full moon, and then on the full moon you'd probably do that release ritual, and then carry on through the prompts. But again, I don't think it matters too much. It's just something to do. So cathartically, it's up to you as to whether you need those moons, and actually how you use them. Because I'm saying full moons because I use them for full moons. But some people do it the other way around. Some people use the new moons to do this. So again, whichever way you work with the moons, it's no problem. So I've settled finally on a name. So this is a #bewitched seasonal spread. You can tag me in there so I know that you've done a video or a VR to this, which would be wonderful, at Antoinette Tarot and Jewellery. And I've got a second tag just in case, hashtag Seasons of the Witch 2023. So, and because it's to, you know, go through this next few seasons basically. So, and what I hopefully have managed to do is give you all this, so you can print this out, you can double side them, you can stick this into your journal, you can colour it in, and then, as I said, all of my prompts kind of lead off from this. So it's a WyseWytch'sHouse, and yes, I mean to spell it with Wise, because it's an old way of spelling, and that's the traditional old ways of going, because I follow the old ways. So that is my spread that I want you all to hopefully enjoy, have fun with, and join in. But I really, most importantly, look forward to seeing what you create with this, like what you follow, what you make from the prompts, and or what decks you choose to use. And you've seen I'm going to use hundreds, as many decks as I can. So I'm going to I haven't cleared and set my space, but I'm just going to do a run through of a, you know, prompt one with you. And these are the decks that I said that I would use. So I'm going with the Bonestone Earthflesh, the Tarot of the 78 Doors, and the Mabon Seasons of the Witch, because it's that season. I'll just take my rings off because we have gilding. So question number one, or prompt number one, is the front door on my so my front door. What energy is coming in for winter? That's what we've got there. So what door is coming in for the autumn and winter months? I've obviously made it slightly clearer when I've written it down. And the journal prompt to go with this is, how can I work with this energy to my advantage and gain? So that'll be to think deeper on what you've got and to, you know, maybe write it in your journal, create a vision board, wishes, you know, things that you might do so that you just got it there to remind you of what's going on, much like a wish jar that I normally make around Christmas time for myself. But yeah, you do the same thing here. So that's today's. So we're going to do, what is the energy coming in for the autumn and winter months? And as I say, we've got 3 decks. Bring you down a little bit because you'll probably want to see the images. I will be redoing this for myself properly in a minute, once I've kind of cleared and, you know, not been rushing around and I'm in central space, and I can then put it next to this energy. So we've got strength, I take jumpers for anyone that doesn't know that, because they actually seem quite important when they come out. So 2 came out, so I will take the pair. Obviously, if I drop like 8 cards, they go back in the deck. Isn't that interesting? All majors, so some big energies coming in. Breath work. So we have strength. So if the energy's coming in, we have strength. So we obviously have the, you know, I'm looking at what she's doing, and that phrase, you know, give me strength, seems to come to mind when I look at her doing this. So I'm clearly going to need to pull on my own inner resources to find that inner calm, inner place where I don't spark, you know, people don't spark me. We have the Hierophant, so there's some kind of lesson, it feels, for the next few months to learn. And then we have the Empress, so that kind of nurturing feeling of whatever's going on. So I'm guessing it's not going to be overly brilliant because we've got breath work here as well. That's going to, you know, it's going to pull on my resources. So everything I've got, I'm going to need my resources behind me, and my resilience is going to need to be high. So I'm just going to need to like focus inwardly and know myself really, and what's going on, and be true to me and my heart. Whatever it is that's here to learn is here to learn for a reason, so it's going to cause growth. So here we have the growth here, and it feels like it's going to probably give a sort of creative aspect to what's going on. And maybe even then, after learning the lesson, it's going to be about teaching others so that they don't do the same thing. We have breath work. So allow your breath to expand your spirit and fill your heart. So whatever my lesson, whatever my test, whatever my issue is over here, I need to make sure that I pull it in a loving way over here, not beat myself up about whatever this is. Now I can pull more cards to see what this is, but I'm not going to do that on the screen. So I haven't set the full intention, but that does feel like it's probably a poignant message. I'd definitely be able to sit down and journal with that and expand, what's the Hierophant trying to tell me is probably what I'd want to know. Is what is he teaching me? Strength comes in all shapes and sizes, so I'm not really bothered that, but more perhaps what is he trying to teach me, and what's the outcome, which this clearly is the outcome, but it's going to be about grounding and centering and finding and remaining centered and calm amongst the chaos. So finding the eye of the storm, the calm in the eye of the storm, really seems to be my prompt number 1. The rest is going to be really interesting, isn't it? There we go. That is my prompt number 1. I don't think there's anything else I need to do with you guys, because otherwise this video is going to be ridiculously long. I hope to see you all joining in with this, and I really do hope people get some fun out of it and use of their decks. That's my big thing: use of your decks, and perhaps even some mixing and merging within the communities to come together and share ideas and things. So I hope you liked my hot chocolate. That was from one of the prompts about treating yourself, making something lovely for yourself, something warm and cozy. So I'll let you guess which prompt that one came from in my spreadsheet, and I look forward to seeing what you all come up with. Thank you. Have a lovely day.